In the previous episode, we discussed the concept of dignity with our friends. In this episode, we will talk about what kind of life can be considered a life of dignity. Most people might have had experiences like this. For instance, when someone you don't know does something disgraceful, such as relieving themselves in public, eating in a foul environment, or fighting shirtless in the street. Although these people have nothing to do with you, you still feel uncomfortable. The underlying reason can be explained as follows. This person, in front of other species, is embarrassing all of humanity, and you, as a member of the human race, feel ashamed. Nature has implanted within you the genes to defend the noble attributes of humanity, and feeling uncomfortable is a natural stress response. Dignity is a wealth that belongs to all of humanity, and individuals do not have the right to damage this public property. Therefore, it is everyone's responsibility to protect the dignity of humanity. There are 3 characteristics of a dignified society. Humans are not equated with animals. All people are distinguished from animals at an equal distance. Citizens have the right to self-determination. This is an ideal state of society, and in reality, such an ideal society almost does not exist. However, even in authoritarian societies, such as the Stalin era in the Soviet Union and the Cultural Revolution in China, many people still maintained their dignity. A rough observation reveals that in their daily lives, they typically shared some common characteristics, or at least lived as follows. Treating others equally. Dignity is the pursuit of an absolute sense of divinity rather than a relative measure. It is not built on a sense of relative superiority between individuals and cannot be elevated by comparing oneself to others. In this world, there are always greater heights. If dignity is derived from comparing oneself to others, eventually only the last person at the top of the tower will enjoy dignity. If dignity is based on a relative foundation, it will vanish as soon as one encounters someone stronger than themselves, leading to a life of constant anxiety. Therefore, when people see those weaker than themselves and feel superior, lucky, disdainful, or scornful, they should remind themselves if they are losing their dignity. Similarly, extra reverence for the powerful is also undignified. Laozi said, "How great is the difference between yes and flattery? A person who is bossy and condescending to waitstaff is very likely to flatter and fawn over their superiors. If one cannot treat both superiors and inferiors equally, they lack dignity, neither servile nor arrogant. That is the most appropriate politeness. Consistency between appearance and reality. According to Kant, humans are an end, not a means. In society, people often wear different masks for various benefits, displaying multiple personas. This kind of life is equivalent to acting, turning oneself into a tool for performance out of convenience, masking the true self, and thus abandoning dignity. For instance, being a lackey, mouthpiece, henchman, accomplice, or thug. Surrendering to others for immediate benefits, selling one's soul or body, lying, or having multiple personas are all acts of being a tool. Calm and patient. Dignified people are mature and have their own reasons for everything they do. Their reasons do not conflict with each other and form a hierarchical system. Therefore, they rarely panic. They don't need to shout slogans to boost their morale. Because they foresee further, they have more reasons to accept various consequences, making them calmer and more patient. Use of tools. They invent tools, including various complex tools, machines, and instruments. They are also skilled in using tools, such as expressive tools like writing, language, and art. Tools are a hallmark of humans departing from primitiveness. The more complex the tools, the higher the level of material civilization, and the more dignified humans appear. Respect for rituals. They show reverence and use rituals to treat people, events, and cultures they respect. Independence. They have the ability to think, logical judgment, are not easily convinced, reject brainwashing, and possess creativity. Discernment. They have standards for aesthetics, quality, and authenticity. Ability to fulfill social responsibilities, including family responsibilities, professional responsibilities, duties to friends, and so on. Pursuit of higher living standards. Human life exists on 3 levels: material life, spiritual life, and soul life. People with high-level pursuits can break free from the constraints of lower-level needs, avoid becoming slaves to materialism, and are not elated by small gains, making them freer and more dignified. It is undeniable that the pursuit of higher levels in real life must be based on lower-level life. For example, pursuing spiritual life requires first solving the problem of food and clothing, and pursuing soul life requires a certain level of basic knowledge. Totalitarian governments do not allow people to enter the spiritual and soul levels of life. So maintaining hunger and controlling speech become 2 major tools of totalitarian rule. Keeping parts of or the entire society in a state of hunger becomes a method of governance. Cleanliness. Kitchens and toilets are always kept clean. No body odor. Observance of order. Especially natural order. Natural order is prescribed by higher life forms, one can also say by God, such as how humans should look, and what they should eat. Dignified people do not artificially alter their bodies, such as sex change, and try not to destroy the original state of nature. They are cautious about technological activities like crossbreeding and cloning, and do not casually eat other animals. Regardless of whether an individual's life has dignity, I believe that people should live with dignity, but not for the sake of dignity. In the next episodes, we will continue to discuss the purpose and meaning of life. Thank you for watching. And that's all for this episode.